everybody. It's what?
Hey.
It's Thursday. One more day to Friday to all my Monday through Friday workers. We only got one more day and then we're off Saturday and Sunday. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. And for somebody it's payday tomorrow. So hey, that's always a pleasure. Um, we're here on Thursday, to read the Bible from Genesis to Revelations. That's what we chose to do on Thursdays. Um, we thank you guys for following us, for looking at our videos. If you have any
Hey,
questions,
Minnie.
hey Carmen, we love it when you come in and y'all. I had to take this thing down. Y'all was getting a headache. Um, So again, we are so glad you guys join us on Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Tuesdays, make sure you listen in because we're reading our spiritual warfare book. And as always, I'm using my study Bible. As y'all see that it's been read 100 times over. It's called The Way. This is a New Living Translation of the Bible. So just know that my words in this Bible may be different if you're using the King James Version. Anna is using the Women's Devotional Bible, which is also a New International Version.
Which is
Hers is
dying
worn
too.
out. Look, mine don't even have a back no more, y'all. It's it's
Hey,
worn.
okay,
It's
hang on,
worn.
hang on. I want to show you something, Christy. Where did I put it?
Hey, girl.
Oh, okay, hang on one second. So you think that one looks bad, right? And yes, I
Ooh.
always read out of the New International Version. So you think that one's bad? This is like my couple's Bible, right? look at
Ooh.
look at this. It's just falling all apart, but I just can't get rid. This Bible is very special to me. Very, very
Yeah,
special.
this Bible here is like, look here the other piece of it is right here. I kept it.
I'm like,
So
I'm not getting rid of it.
this is how your Bible needs to look, because if you reading your Bible every day and if you reading it to where God is talking to you, it's like you're gonna have highlights, you're gonna have stickies, you're gonna have the pages worn. It's gonna look like you've
Writing.
read it.
Yeah.
And I still want to say to you guys that, just remember God love us and he is in the answer and prayer business. So I understand a lot more than you guys think I understand. Don't think because I'm sitting here reading this Bible or you see us going over this book that it's not things that affect us in our life and it's not things that we're not going through. Because I want y'all to understand that the reason why I can pray for you guys, the reason why we can empathize and sympathize is because we've been where you are. And that's how God is. That's how Jesus was. When he walked this earth, he went through the things that we went through. He felt the things that we felt. And so he understands more than we think he understands. So that's what we're gonna learn. And today, y'all, in this course that we're starting with chapter 10 in Genesis. Um and we're gonna get to the Tower of Babel. I know it's a whole lot of the video is gone. Oh, why is
Are
it
we back?
gone? Hello, we back. Can y'all see us? Um, One thing I want to say that the Tower of Babel is a lot that people have questions about. So we're going to talk about how divinity comes in and destroys the good thing, and seeing how it destroyed us being able to communicate and understand each other. But before we get started, I wanted to say some things.
I don't have much to say, but I do have. Okay. So, first of all, I wanted to thank each and every one of you guys for praying for me. I haven't been feeling well for quite some time. And, sometimes when you're not feeling well, you almost feel like the world thinks you're lying. Because you're like, oh, I just, I'm not feeling too hot, or I'm feeling this. And then different symptoms, and it just kind of makes people, I don't know, like this kind of thing. Yeah, whatever, right? So anyways, I went to the ER 2 days after my birthday what was it? Last week? Last week. My birthday was Saturday and I went that Monday after. So when I went to the ER, they couldn't figure what is going on. They're seeing something wrong with my kidneys and my liver. And I'm just like, wow, because I don't understand. Overall, I try to eat relatively healthy. I might cheat like we all do, but I try to take care of myself. Um, can you hear me okay? So I
Yes,
hear,
I can hear you.
hang on, I hear like feedback. But okay, so what then after that, I turn around and I scheduled an appointment. Thank you, Millie. I scheduled an appointment with doctor and I went in, I just had my 29th birthday, so I just went in and followed up and all that good stuff. So, my annual. So while I'm there, she's getting all my symptoms. She's writing everything down. And I'm like, I know I sound crazy. I said, I'm fatigued. I have this pain here. I'm very swollen. It doesn't go away. I'm too young to have anything going on. So, anyways, long story short, as she's checking me for my physical, you're not going to believe this, Christy. She's asked all these questions. She's like, I have a good idea of what's going on, right? And then when she checks this area, she realizes I have a nodule here standing out. Good thing is that whether the nodule is cancerous or not, there's a very high chance that nothing will happen. You know what I'm saying? So, long story short, all these crazy symptoms, the fatigue, the pain, the back pain that felt like kidneys, the weight gain. Yes, I know I gained a lot of weight, and it was unintentional, right? The weight gain, along with a lot of other symptoms, headaches and stuff, turns out to be my thyroid. So doctors miss that for so long. Do not let a doctor dismiss, right, what you're feeling, because they're just guessing. That's what they do. That's medical. That's what medicine is. They study it. They're trying to figure out what they're seeing. To my luck, the doctor that I see now, she has family that has thyroid issues. So she was explaining to me that because I told her, well, I shouldn't have thyroid issues. The tests always came out fine. The
Right.
problem with this, Christy, is that your TSH test can come out fine, but you still have thyroid issues. So I have to test you a few different things and then figure out this is thyroid. So, anyways,
Wow.
I will let you guys know about the journey. I just really wanted to take the time to thank everyone because these prayers is what leads you to the right doctor to get healing for what you're feeling. So just thank you guys because that's what it's about. And that's why we all pray together and we do what we do. So I just wanted to say that. That was really it. I know it took a while, but I'm really excited that
I'm
they're going
excited too, Anna, because I was like,
to
girl, go to somebody. I need you to find some what's going on because we need you. And I told you, and you might not, you remember, I told you, I say, Anna, you doing too much for God and doing too much for his glory for him to not heal you or provide you with what's going on.
Yeah, you
And I
did.
remember I told her and we prayed.
Uh-huh.
I say this is something simple. It's just the devil attacking you to make you give up. And remember when you were so sick. Yeah, I just remember this that Job. Remember when Job was going through everything he was going through? He said, "Well, I believe in my heart, and this is just my imagination." God said, "Have you tried my child Anna?" He said, "No, you
Mhm.
got your hands all over her. Why I can't do nothing to her?" He said, "Okay, I'm gonna remove my hand. You can touch everything but her soul." So he touched her body, and he said, I bet you she won't go on the show when she don't feel good. I bet you she won't record because she don't feel good. I bet you she won't praise you when she's sick. But because you kept going, God said, ha, I told you my girl was going to come through. I just,
Exactly.
that's just in my
And
mind. I'm
Christy
not saying
knows.
that's what happened, but that's
No,
in my
no, but
mind.
that's pretty much how it was for me, because Christy knows that she would tell me, take a break, because I was literally in so much pain getting up out of bed. I get so fatigued, I do very little, and I want to pass out. So, but I will tell you guys, because I like to be transparent, right, with the listening audience. I when they checked my cholesterol, my triglycerides are almost at 800. I'm a walking stroke or heart attack. And I just thank God that He has spared me this far to be able to figure out what it is. To Him the glory. Like I say,
That's,
thank you guys for your prayers, because that's what kept me going. It
look
kept
how
me
much he
going.
loved you. Look how
Yes.
much, and you know what? And I'm gonna tell all the viewers, guess what? God has no respect of person. So that means if he did it for Anna, he would do it for us.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. It doesn't stop. That's right, Carmen. It doesn't stop the enemy from attacking us.
Mm-hmm.
We are constantly attacked, and we have to make sure we understand the difference. That's why that Tuesday Bible study, when we're reading
Mm-hmm.
the spiritual warfare, is so important, because we learn that the devil uses the things of this world to tempt us, to entice us. We're tempted by our own desires, and it's up to us to be able to resist the devil so he can flee from us. So, and no matter how you feeling, right? No matter, hey Red, no matter what it seems like, it's always a moment where you have that choice. It's a split second of a moment where you get to decide whether you're gonna be for God or you for Satan. And that's in every decision. It's that split moment. And it could be where it's just as simple like me telling her, well, go ahead and take a break because I know you don't feel good. Now, my intentions were very pure. They were
Mm-hmm.
not ill-willed or saying that,
Mm-mm.
but what I was saying was not what God was telling Anna, like, you need to go forth, you still go forth in ministry. So a lot of times we as friends may tell our other friends something that is not what God wants. You have to discern for yourself. Just like with Job,
Mhm.
his friends was telling him, "Oh, you must have made God mad. You must have did something wrong. You must have did this." But God was like, "No, he didn't do anything wrong. It was just because he was chosen." And we as Christians, that's why we can't judge people, because we don't know what people are in their life. And so I'm a firm believer in that. Like, if I'm wrong, and I can be that. I tell you guys all the time. Call me, or hit us
Oh,
up
that
on
just, that
Facebook.
just reminded me. I got to put the banner on here.
Yes. So it's call us 321-252-8084 with your questions. We both have Facebook accounts where you can message us, outreach and prayer, Bibles and girls talk. They're posting our videos now. So y'all, it's out there for you if you want it. And we ask you guys to join in on our stream. Again, we come in on every Tuesday and Thursday. And it be fire. Red and Red and Carmen, they are two. They come all the time, and they know we be cutting up sometimes. So y'all forgive us for the cut up.
Yeah, and it's all with love. It's all with love. But um, Christy again and Red, you just came on, but you can go back and watch the beginning of it where I talk about what it is that they figured out is going on with me, and we were just talking about how you go through this stuff and then it's like you're feeling crazy and then it's like, oh, it was that. So it's almost like, oh, and then it makes sense because it's like, oh, and I have medical training, I should have known better. And Christy, like even when I told her, she was like, "Oh," because when you know the symptoms, you're like, "That makes sense," you know. So anyhow, I love you guys very much, and I just thank you guys your support through all of this because it's been a crazy, crazy journey. And this has
I
been
can
going
feel that.
on for over a year on and off, but it just came back, and it came back with a vengeance, and I could not tolerate it. So, anyways, I'm real
Man,
happy
let me tell you.
that we were able to figure that out. So, anyways, on to Genesis. I
Yes.
just want to tell you guys that because I'm so happy. I mean, like, there's gonna be
And
a
I know
solution.
y'all like my cup.
No, I like that sign back there, though. You see
This cup, and then I have on the brown. Yes, I love the Saints.
it?
They're having a wonderful season. We won our game. Now we're gonna go get some birds. Yes, them
Don't nobody
Saints.
see, but this is the thing. Don't nobody like the Saints, but you.
No, every
Everybody
let me
likes the
tell you something.
Bucks.
Come down to New Orleans.
They're like,
Come down here
Tom
and say
Brady.
that.
I love the
You
Bucks.
know, that's okay. We're gonna forgive her for that. I'm still loving Jesus.
He's
But you
still the
can't be
goat.
talking about my
He's
Saints.
still the goat. um,
Okay, so let's go to Genesis. We're in the 10th chapter, y'all. Let me get myself all together because this is going to be interesting. So, oh,
are we gonna get more of the Young and the Restless? Is that what you mean?
well, when we get to the Tower of Babel, all right, chapter 10.
Y'all, it's gonna get
Now,
good.
chapter 10 is really going to go through it real fast because all it is talking about the descendants of Noah's children. Okay, and then we're going to get into chapter 11, and it's going to be awesome. So we're going to read through chapter 10 only because now, if I was really just, just doing this, I would skip chapter 10, but we're reading it all the way through. Okay. So I'm going to tell y'all some of these names I ain't going to pronounce right. Let me just go ahead and just go ahead and put that out there. If you know the correct pronunciation, God bless you. Hallelujah. I'm I got a
Oh,
southern
I can't with
accent
you.
and I'm country. So here we go. This is the account of the family of Shem, Ham, and Jephthah, the three sons of Noah. Many children were born to them after the great flood. Remember, it was them and their wives, right? So ain't nobody messing around with nobody's nothing, right? The descendants of Jephthah was Gomer, Magog, Madi, Jovan, and Tubal. All right, Red. Don't get me started now. Fish and Tyrus. The the descendants of Gomer, which was um, Jephthah's son, had some children too. Azakaz, Reptha, Tamarga. Yeah, I ain't saying these right, so don't do that. Their descendants became the sea-fearing peoples that spread out to various lands, each identified by its own language, clan, and national identity. Okay, so the descendants of Jephthah, they had their own language, their own clan, their own national identity, right? Ham, and I ain't talking about no pig ham. I ain't talking about no pork ham. I'm talking about the son of Noah ham. All right. The descendants of Ham was Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The descendants of Cush was Seba, Havilah, Sabath, Ramah, and Sabeteka. The descendants of Ramah was Sheba and Dindan. Cush was also the ancestor of Nimrod, who was the first heroic warrior of Earth. Since he was the greatest hunter in the world, his name became proverbial. People would say this man is like Nimrod, the greatest hunter in the world. He built his kingdom in the land of Babylonia. So we're gonna start. Y'all know what Babylonia, with the cities of Babylon, Erech, Akkad, and Calah. From there, he expanded his territory to Assyria, building the cities of Nineveh, Rehabacha, Kaha, and Resin. Ooh, y'all, this is bad. Between
And she talking
Mesri,
about the way she pronouncing it, guys.
woo, don't y'all see this video. I don't want you to go to nobody saying, y'all hear how she pronouncing these names. I'm telling you right now, I am not pronouncing these names correctly. You don't have to hit me up on Messenger. You ain't got to call me. You ain't even got to call 321
Don't
two
call
five
me.
six 8084 asking Anna, like, Anna, this girl was not pronouncing them right names right. I'm telling you. All right, so Mesrim was the ancestor of the Lucidites, Amorites, and Lahabites, Nephirites, Perizzites, Cashelites, and the Kepharites, from whom the Philistines came from. So the Philistines came from the descendants of Ham. That's important because when we start talking about the Philistines and we start talking about all these steins and sites, you know where they came from. It's important, right? Canaan's oldest son, Sidon. So Canaan's oldest son. Canaan is the son of Ham, right? So Canaan's oldest son was Sidon, the ancestor of the Sidonians. Canaan was also the ancestor of the Hittites. So we're gonna hear about some Hittites, the Jebusites, Amorites, um, Gigorites, Hivites, Archites, Sinites, Arvadites, Zamarites, and Hamathites. The Canaanites clans eventually spread out, and the territory of Canaan extended from Sidon into north to Gerar to Gaza in the south and east. Hey, Ephraim, glad you made it. And east for as Sodom, Gomorrah. So you know about Sodom and Gomorrah. Adamah, and Zamani near Lash. These were the descendants of Ham. So the descendants of Ham came Sodom and Gomorrah. Uh-oh. So y'all, I want y'all to hear this. So y'all know you're gonna hear about the
I told
Amorites.
y'all, Young and the Restless. I
Yeah.
told y'all the Young and the Restless.
It's gonna get deep in a minute. Y'all like when we start talking about, I'm gonna remember. So remember, these are all descendants of Noah. All these clans, all this territory, all these nationalities, the Canaanites, the Philistines, all these are descendants of Noah and his children. And then the sons were also born to Shem, the oldest brother of Japheth. Shem was the ancestor of the descendant Eber. The descendants of Shem were Islam, Ashur, Arphadites, Lud, and Arama. The descendants of Amor was Uz. You remember the year the king Uz died? Y'all, this is gonna all make sense, I promise. Hur, Gaster, and Mash. Azarah was the father of Shaliah, and Shaliah was the father of Eber. Eber had two sons. The first name was Plague, which means division. For during his lifetime, the people of the world were divided into different languages, groups. His brother was Joktan. Joktan was the ancestor of Amnon, Sephlah, Hazamara, Jerah, who Lord, Hardam, Uzar, Dakla, Abla, Abu, well, yeah, that, all them, and Jobab. All these were descendants of Jotran. The territory they occupied extended from Misha all the way to Sephar into the eastern mountains. So they all had those descendants identified by clan, language, and territory. So anyway, this is all the divisions, right? So each son of Noah had a particular land, a particular clan, and a particular territory, basically. These are the clans that descended from Noah's son, arranged by nation according to their lines of descent. All the nations of the earth descended from these clans after the great flood. So what happened after the flood? There was no people, right? Noah and his wife, his sons and their wife. The sons and their wife had children, and they began to create their ancestry of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. So now, chapter 11. Now, this is going to talk about the Tower of Babel. At one time, all the people of the world spoke the same language and used the same words. So it was one point in time where everybody had the exact same language. Everybody spoke the same words. Now, this was before the flood. The reason why I say it's before the flood, because they at one time, everything in the Bible is not in chronological order. Just remember that. The Bible goes back and explains something. So listen, right then when you say when everybody spoke different languages, you can say there was descendants, right, of Shem identified by claim, language, and territory and national identity that were different. So how did they get different? So now the Bible is going to go and explain this. As the people migrated to the east, they found a plain in the land of Babylonia and settled there. They began saying to each other, let's make bricks and harden them with fire. In this region, bricks were used instead of stone, and tar was used for mortar. So y'all want to know how they built things? They built bricks, and then they put them on top of the tar. The tar would get hard and make buildings. Then they say, "Come, let's build a great city for ourselves with a tower that reaches into the sky." So now listen.
Hang on. Before you say that, and I meant to catch you when you were still mentioning the descendants and all the names that we don't understand, or not that we don't understand, that we can't properly pronounce and stuff. Guys, I used to just skip through it, and because I was like, that's a lot. But see, did you guys notice how she was like, oh, remember this name? Oh, remember this is connected to him? Because that's just what I remember off the top of my head. So just remember that these descendants, when, because I know there's more than one place in the Bible where you have that,
Mhm.
it's very important for you to read it because it gives you a clearer understanding of, oh, I remember reading this in here or in that part of the Bible, and that's what she was trying to tell you guys. Okay, so go ahead. I'm sorry, I know
Right,
I went
because you
back,
we
but
I mean those who read the Bible and understand, we know the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. We
uh-huh.
know about the Philistines. We know
Mhm.
about the Canaanites. So it's telling you where all these were descendants of Noah, right? And each of their sons. So it says, okay, so they decided to make a tower that reaches the sky. Now listen, they wanted to build a tower that reached all the way up to the sky. This would make us famous and keep us from being scattered all over the world. But the Lord came down to look at the city and the tower the people were building. Look, he said, the people are united and they all speak the same language. After this, nothing they set out to do will be impossible. Y'all, did y'all hear that?
Mhm.
It say if you do that, nothing is impossible. If everyone get on the same chord, speak the same language, become the same, come together on a common goal and purpose, is nothing that will stop you. So that's why God said, well, two or three are gathered, I'll be a God in the midst. If you have unity, there is strength. This is Bible. This is not no, and I'm just gonna tell you, this is not Martin Luther King. This is not Malcolm X. This is on anything. And I'm not down on my African American brothers for their right, but they knew, because Martin Luther King was a Christian and he read this, he knew if everyone got on a one accord, if everybody work toward a common goal at the same time, then something got to move. It's power behind being together as one. That's like if you have a marriage and you and your husband is on one accord, y'all speaking the same language, y'all trying to do the same things, there's nothing can stop you guys from being successful in your marriage because y'all both are focused on the same thing. Now, when you have one focus and one mind elsewhere, that's when the family breakdown begins to happen and things happen. So we have to understand that it is meant for us to be on one accord. That's when even God said he came down to look at the town that they built, to look at this tower, and he's seeing that because they speak the same language, because they on the same path, they have the same goal, that nothing is impossible for them.
Mm-hmm.
That was right here in Genesis. I ain't even got to the New Testament yet.
Mm-hmm.
Come, let's go down and confuse the people with different languages. Then they won't be able to understand each other. In that way, the Lord scared them all over the world, and they stopped building the city. That is why the city was called Babel, because that is where the Lord confused the people with different language. In this way, he scared them all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, because he knew that they could do all anything and they were powerful, he struck them down with different languages, right? So with all these different languages, now they're not building the city,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now they're not building the tower, right? So
Mm-hmm.
now they've scattered all over the world with different languages, right? So now this is the count of Shem's family. So now that the Bible to describe like how all these different languages, because right before chapter 10, it was talking about each of the sons having different languages, right? Different cultures, different nationality, different parts of the land. This is why, because when they spoke the same language, they were coming together to build this tower. Now, somebody was like, want to ask, well, why didn't God want them to build a tower to the sky? Why didn't God want them to build the land? The only thing I can answer that question is you got to pray and ask Him that because it doesn't say in the Bible, and I'm not finna just make up something. Now I can say what I think. I can give you my opinion, but that's not what we're here for. We're not here for my opinion. We want biblical base. And in this particular chapter, it doesn't say why he didn't want them building that city. It doesn't say why he didn't want them to build the tower. And I am in my own opinion, I felt like maybe they were thinking they were better than God to the point that they can build this they can build and get to his level. Our God is a jealous God, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if God is a jealous God, then there's no way he's going to allow me and anyone to take away his glory or to take away what he has done. So if they got
Mm-hmm.
together and he know that if they did this together, then they could also do other things. Like if they build a tower all the way to the sky, if they built this city and they continued on that path, then they would not see who God is and think they were able to do all things themselves. That's not
Mm-hmm.
biblical, y'all. That's just my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. And my opinion can be wrong. Okay, so this is the account of Shem's family, right? 2 years after the great flood, when Shem was 100 years old, he became the father. So 200, y'all, 100 years old making a baby. So this
Oh
this this
Lord.
is what this is telling you. When they lived, they was not decrepit, they wasn't crippled, they didn't have diseases. When they was 100 years old, they was walking around better than most of us 20-year-olds. Now I'm
Girl,
25,
at
and
a
he was
hundred, most people ain't got, well, they ain't even alive, but most
no
of us ain't even got no energy.
right. And
Much
man,
less be making babies.
I seen this one lady. I don't know if it was on TV or what, but she was 100 years old, still gardening, still dancing. It's just and didn't even look 100 years old. That is rare. That's why she was on the news. Because in this day and time, 100-year-old man and woman is not finna make no baby. Because
Mm-mm.
by then, everything is all dried up on the woman anyway. So,
And on a man too.
so, but in the biblical time, they lived till they was 800 years old or 700. They lived a long time. So, so just think if you are living to 700 and 800 years old, then being 100 years old is nothing. You're still young.
Mhm.
You're still in your prime at 100. Like if you get it to just think like Moses lived to what, 900 years old? Not Moses.
Who?
Uh, Noah.
Oh
Noah
no.
lived almost 900 years old. So if you living up to 900 and you 100 years old, you like a teenager. You still
Yep.
young. So he gave birth whew, to his son. Um,
You okay?
yeah, I was trying to pronounce this. Afra, After the birth of his son, Shem lived another 500 years and had other sons and daughters. You see what I'm saying? So he was about 600 years old when he died. Because remember, when God shortened the lifespan of man because he was so tired of them. They was living to over 1,000 years old. So now he shortened it to almost 700 years. So if you live in 700 years old, y'all, 100 years old is nothing. When I was 35 years old, he became the father of Salah. After birth of Salah, he lived another 403 years. So he was over 438 years old when he died. Salah was 30 years old when he became the father of Eber. After Eber, he lived another 430 years. When Eber was 34, he became the father of Plague. After the birth of Plague, Eber lived 430 years. When Plague was 30, he became the father of Ru. After the birth of Ru, Plague lived another 209 years, and he gave birth to other sons and daughters. When Ru was 32 years old, he became the father of Serug. After the birth of Serug, Ru lived another 207 years. And so each of these people had more than these people, but these are the main people that God is talking about. When Serug was 30 years old, he became the father of Nor. After the birth of Nor, Serug lived another 200 years and had other sons and daughters. When Nor was 29 years old, he became the father of Terah. After the birth of Terah, Nor lived another 119 years. He had other sons. And Terah was 70 years old when he became the father of Abram, Nor, and Haran. So this is the point. So Abram is on deck now. So you see how Abram is a descendant of Shem, who is the descendant of Noah,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we're finna talk about his the other side in just a minute. Because that's how Abram was able to stay where he was. It would be if I could look fine like I am,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how. Can you imagine? Like
being 400 years old.
all dried up.
But they wasn't trying to. They were still having kids, Anna.
That's what I'm saying.
They
Because you
200 years
don't
old.
know. Yeah,
I
we're
don't
gonna
know.
stay on the subject. We're gonna stay on the subject. That's a little to me. I don't know.
This is the account of Terah family. Terah was the father of Abram, Nor, and Haran. And Haran was the father of Lot. So now we got Abram and now we got Lot,
Mm-hmm.
right? So Abram, right? So Abram and Haran were brothers. Haran had Lot. So this is Abram's nephew. Y'all follow me? So the reason why this is important to know these names and descendants because it's going to explain a lot when we go in and we start talking about Sodom and Gomorrah. Where's Sodom and Gomorrah? That was one of Noah's children who had that territory. Then we go back and say that Shem's family, which is also a descendant of Noah, had came Abram and Lot. This is how they would come in play, right? This is how Abram had become with in territory and land because he was born in the family that has that land. Lot was born in a family, so he was able to get land. Okay, so y'all listening? But Haran died in Ur of Chaldeans and the land of his birth, while his father Terah was still living. Meanwhile, Abram and Noah both married. The name of Abram's wife was Sarah, and the name of Noah's wife was Melchi. Melchi and her sister Ishka were the daughters of Noah's brother Haran. But Sarah was unable to become pregnant and had no children. One day, Terah took his son Abram, his daughter in law Sarah, which was his son's wife, and his grandson Lot, right? His son Haran's child, and moved away from Ur. He was headed for the land of Canaan, but they stopped at Haran and settled there. Terah lived for 205 years and died still in Haran. So they never made it to Canaan. It was just Abram, Lot, and Sarah. So it was Abram, Sarah, and Lot, right? So now we in chapter 12. This is how it only got to them three. Did you see how it narrowed it down? So it was a call, like, meanwhile, Abram and Noah both got married, right? We back. So now we're in chapter 12. The Lord had said to Abram, because remember they was where was they traveling to, Anna?
To
Canaan.
Canaan, but they
But
never
they
made it
stopped.
there.
They stopped in
Hmm.
in Haran, which is a place, and settled there, and the daddy died. But the Lord said to Abram, leave your native country, your relatives, and your father's family, and go to a land that I will show you. It will make you into a great nation. I will bless you and make you famous, and you will be blessing to others. I will bless those who bless you and curse those who treat you with contempt. Do y'all see that? Did y'all hear what he told Abram? He's like, look,
That's
I
what he
need you
be
to leave
telling
your
all of
people.
us too.
Huh?
That's what our Father be telling all of us too.
Yes, he said, leave your family, right? Leave your native country. He
Hmm.
said, I'm going to bless everybody that bless you. I'm going to make you famous. But anybody that stands up against you in contempt, hey, I'm going to take care of them. And that's what God is telling us today. We ain't got to argue. We ain't got to fuss. We ain't got to sit here and act a clown with people. When somebody do you wrong, you say, God bless them. Because God going to bless them according to their heart. God is going to bless them according to what their actions are. So it's like you putting hot coals on their head when you say, Lord, bless them. When somebody cussing you out, you ain't got to cuss back. You ain't got to say, I'm going to say, Lord, bless them.
And it's
When
hard.
somebody is using you, Lord, if anybody's in my life that mean me and harm, God, I pray you remove them and don't make it grievous. Watch they
Hmm.
kick rock. You all you have to do is keep your hand in God's hand, and He's gonna take care of the
Amen.
rest. And He did
Amen.
that for Abram, right? And I know y'all keep hearing me call him Abraham, but we're gonna get to that point of how his name changed.
Hmm. Yes, his name was changed.
So Abram departed as the Lord had instructed. So you see that? Abram, when God told him to do something, he ain't questioned. He ain't say, well, Lord, why? What's going on? Well, I love my family. I don't want to leave them. Well, you sure, Jesus? Well, let me get 3 confirmations. Let me hear it 3 times first.
Five confirmation. I
So,
mean, you really want me to leave? I mean, I'm
like, you
loving my,
sure?
I'm loving
But
where
Lord, I love Harpo. I love Harpo.
you.
But he departed immediately, like instructed, and Lot went with him. So Lot was not required to go, but Lot followed his uncle. Remember, Lot is Abram's brother's child, right? All right. I'm telling you, it's gonna make sense in a minute. Abram was 75 years old when he left Haran. He took his wife, his nephew, and all his wealth, his livestock, all the people he had taken into his household at Haran, and headed for the land of Canaan. When they arrived in Canaan, Abram traveled through the land as far as Shechem. There he set up camp beside the oak of Morah. And that time the area was inhabited by Canaanites. So who were the Canaanites? Those were Abram's dad's people, Noah. Remember, they all descended. Remember, if we go back to chapter 10, right? It tells us that the Canaanites were, hold on, let me find it. They were Canaan's oldest son, right? Which was the
The
descendants of
father.
Jethro,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Wait.
Yep. The Canaanites clan, the
Okay,
Canaan's
that's it.
oldest
Yeah,
son was
scattered in the
Sidon.
waters. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was Jethro people. I wasn't Ham. Hold on. Okay, that's Ham people. I'm
It
sorry.
is him, right? I thought
That's
so. I'm
Ham.
looking. Yeah.
See, Ham. And Ham was the son of Noah, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Ham, and this right here, Noah came from Shem. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
Noah came from Shem, which is also the firstborn of Noah. Ham was Noah's son, which was Shem's brother. So this is how they are related. So he went to his brother's land. Well, he went back to the land right there. Right. There we go. The Canaanite. So we're
But if
gonna
you
refer
guys,
back to chapter 10 so y'all understand, y'all. So that's
yeah,
why I'm going back and forth because I want to make sure I understand and say it correctly too.
yeah. But and this is the thing. Like if you look at it, and it's amazing how our Father's word doesn't lie. Like
Mm-mm.
those promises are there. Like it was promised to Noah, you have the descendants. Well, you start from Adam and Eve, you go on down to all the descendants, and that's why it's so important to read that, like chapter 10. And I know it can get a little confusing because sometimes I'm even at the beginning when I would read the Bible, I'd be like, huh? But now it's like, oh, okay. But you have to read it a few times, the Bible, to understand finally, oh, and I still catch things every time that
Right.
I'm reading
And
it.
you notice how, and what trips me out now that I'm looking at it, the Canaanites were who they had to defeat in order to get this land. Because
Mm-hmm.
they were, but this is their honest to God people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you gotta fight your family or fight
Mm-hmm.
people that you don't think that you're gonna have to fight.
Yes.
They could be your long lost cousin, but if they're not doing what God saying, God tells you to do. I ain't telling nobody to fight nobody. I ain't telling nobody to go to war with nobody. I'm just trying to tell you that sometimes you have to stand up to family members
Mm-hmm.
because you
Mm-hmm.
have to stand on God's word. And if you're
Amen.
standing on God's word and they don't know who God is, then you don't have to back down, but you have to stay firm and believe in who God is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So he said that, okay, inhabit Canaanites. Then the Lord appeared to Abram and said, I will give this land to your descendants. And Abram built an altar there and dedicated it to the Lord, who had appeared to him. After that, Abram traveled south and set up camp in the hill country, with Bethel to the west and Ai to the east. There he built another altar and dedicated it to the Lord, and he worshiped the Lord. So you see, he continually worshiped the Lord and gave reverence and listened to what he was saying. That's when they built those altars. For every move he made, he built an altar thanking God. Then Abram continued traveling south by stages toward the Negev. At the time, a severe famine struck the land of Canaan, right? Forcing
Mhm.
Abram to go down to Egypt, where he lived as a foreigner. As he was approaching the border of Egypt, Abram said to his wife Sarai, "Look, you are a very beautiful woman." Now, look, let me tell you. Whoa. Okay, y'all, the rest is finna start.
Mm, 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 mm.
Young and restless finna start. So now think of this. You in a land that you know, that's yours, you own everything, you rich. All of a sudden, a famine came. So now you are forced to flee where you stay to go into another place. So mind you, Sarai and Abram are married. Keep this stuff in your mind now. Now, when they get to the border of Egypt, here your boy Abram go. Here we go, y'all. Now, my husband, I need you to listen because I'm gonna have a question for you in a minute. Look, you are a very beautiful woman. When the Egyptians see you, they would say, this is his wife. Let's kill him, then we can have her. So please tell them you are my sister. So Abram lying. Christians lie. I'm just saying, he told a lie here.
A big old lie.
Then they will spare my life and treat me well because of their interest in you. And sure enough, when Abram arrived in Egypt, everyone knows Sarah's beauty. When the palace officials saw her, they sang her praises to Pharaoh, their king. And Sarah was taken into this palace. Okay, she was drop dead gorgeous, beautiful woman. That gives account where then Pharaoh gave Abram many gifts because of her: sheep, goats, cattle, male and female donkeys, male and female servants, and camels. Women, let me tell you something. You can bring so much to your mate. You are a helpmeet. You are meant to be beautiful. You are meant to be classy. You are meant to be all those things, to be admired, right? And because of her beauty, it brought so much to Abram. But it's not because he was married to her in this instance, because this is his sister right now, quote unquote. But the Lord sent terrible plagues upon Pharaoh and his household. So you see this? The Lord brought plagues upon Pharaoh's house because of Sarah, Abram's wife. So Pharaoh summoned Abram and accused him sharply. "What have you done to me?" he demanded. "Why didn't you tell me she was your wife? Why did you say she's my sister and allow me to take her as my wife?" Polygamy, y'all, ain't gonna, this is in Genesis. Polygamy.
I was just about to say that. You beat me to it. We told y'all it's better than the young and the restless.
So now, so Abram went and told Pharaoh, this is her sister, allow Pharaoh to marry and sleep with his wife. I'm filling in the little things. So trust and believe Pharaoh had sex with Sarah. I'm just letting y'all know. All right. That's when the plagues come because he consummated the marriage, right? So now God's like, well, I can't honor this marriage because she's already married to Abram. So now all these plagues came. See, y'all talking about y'all want to live in the Old Testament. You saw how quick that judgment came. How many of y'all houses gonna have plagues because y'all fooling around people that ain't your husband? Okay, I'm done.
Well, that's
All
right.
right. And so y'all better be thankful for grace and mercy. So
Better
now then,
be thankful for Jesus.
he said, here's your wife. Take her and get out of here. Pharaoh ordered some of his men to escort them, and he sent Abram out of the country along with his wife and all his possessions. Now that's something the Pharaoh wasn't. He wasn't an Indian giver. He give you something, it's yours. You can't take it back. But look at what Abram caused because he told this lie. He said that this is my sister, allowed him to marry his wife, and then allowed his wife to sleep with this man, all because he thought that if he went through as his wife, they would kill him. Y'all, men, would you allow another man to marry your wife, to sleep with your wife?
Well, that sounds a lot like indecent proposal, like that type of thing. Like it's
But
just
no,
like
he said it was his sister. He ain't even get paid for it.
I know. Yeah, well, technically he did because he got all kinds of stuff, I guess.
Well, that's because that's the sister. You know, back then, let me explain the culture back then. Back then, whoever was the female's guardian, you say, well, it was a brother or a dad. Whenever
Hmm.
someone wanted to marry, they had to give them an endowment.
Yeah, and
Okay,
consent.
so
Yeah.
that endowment can be cattle or it could be servants. I write Red, servants, etc., right?
Uh-huh.
So because Abram said this was my sister, the Pharaoh gave him the endowment for Sarah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all the stuff that he gave was an endowment so he could marry her. Okay.
Mm.
I'm waiting on y'all. 'Cause that's something serious. I don't know if I could do that. Okay, 13. So Abram left Egypt, I'm quite sure he did, and traveled north to Nineveh along with his wife and Lot and all they owned. Abram was very rich in livestock, silver, and gold. Yeah, because Sarah got it from Egypt. From there, they continued traveling by stages toward Bethel, and they pitched their tents between Bethel and Ai. So they're going back. They're going back. If you notice, like in chapter 12, they were saying they was traveling. So now they turning around, going back. Seems like the Canaanites, right? Um, where they had camped before. See, he's been there. This was the same place where Abraham had built an altar, and there he worshiped the Lord again. And I think he had to work. It doesn't say here, but I think he was asking for forgiveness and actually worshiping God because of the mistake that he made in Egypt, right? That was a huge mistake. Lot, what's wrong? Lot, who was traveling with Abram, had also become very wealthy with flocks of sheep and goat, herds of cattle, and many tents. But the land was not supported both Abram and Lot with all their flocks, herd of living so close together. So they had so much stuff together that this one piece of land couldn't hold both of their stuff. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So disputes broke out between the herdsmen of Abram and Lot. At that time, Canaanites and the Perizzites was also living in the land. So it was like the Canaanites, Abram, Lot, and it was like it wasn't like a big old piece of land. So then the people that was handling Abram's herd got into the people that was handling Lot herd, kind of like next door neighbors. We getting
Mhm.
into it. It's too close. We're too clustered. So he said here, he can say, okay. Finally, Abram said to Lot, let's not allow this conflict to become between us or our herdsmen. After all, we're a close relative. You're my nephew. I love you. We ain't got to be doing all of this.
Mhm.
Let's figure out something to do, right? The whole countryside is open to you. Take your choice of any section of the land you want, and we will separate. If you want the land to the left, I'll take the land on the right. If you prefer to land on the right, then I'll go to the left. So he say, look, hey, we too close. I don't want to argue no more. I love you. You my nephew. So look, I tell you what, all of this is ours because they're the descendant of Noah. So all this land is ours. What you want? Which one you want? You want the right, the left? He said, if you want the right, I take the left. If you want the left, I'm gonna let you choose where you want to go. And I'm gonna go the opposite way. Right? So it shouldn't be no argument or no problems because you choosing what you want, right? Okay, so Lot took a long look at the fertile plains of the Jordan Valley in the direction of Zor. The whole area was well watered everywhere, like the garden of the Lord or the beautiful land of Egypt. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So it's giving you an insight of what's to come. Lot
Mhm.
chose for himself the whole Jordan Valley to the east of them. He went with his flocks and servants and parted company with his uncle Abram. So Abram settled in the land of Canaan, and Lot moved his tent to a place near Sodom and settled among the cities of the plain. But the people of this area were extremely wicked and constantly sinning against the Lord. Be careful where you choose because everything
Mhm.
that look good ain't good.
Everything
Because
that glitters don't always shine.
he studied this land before he decided to take it, right? He saw it had fertile land. He saw it was water. He saw it was nice looking. But on this side, he saw it was like destitute. Thanks for my top. Oh, you welcome. So you are a top fan, Red. We love you. And he looked on the other side and he saw that it wasn't as fertile. So he chose the Jordan Valley, right? But he didn't know that these people were extremely wicked and they constant like when the Bible say extremely and constantly, they was doing everything under the sun. There's nothing that they was not doing. Whatever you can think of now, that's what they was doing. Every sin, murder, adultery, fornication, homosexuality. Like I'm talking about, it ran amok in Sodom and Gomorrah, and it's going to talk about it in just a minute.
Reminds you a lot of today's times,
It does.
truthfully.
After Lot had gone, the Lord said to Abram, look as far as you can see in every direction, north, south, east, and west. I am giving all this land as far as you can see to you and your descendants as a permanent possession. And I will give you so many descendants that, like the dust of the earth, they cannot be counted. Go and walk through the land in every direction, for I am giving it to you. So Abram moved his camp to Hebron and settled near the oak grove belonging to Mamre. There he built another altar to the Lord. So God promised to Abraham that all this land, as far as you can see, kind of like Lion King. See, y'all gonna understand sometimes these cartoons are not just
Mhm.
cartoons. So if you remember,
Mhm.
I'm a Lion King fan. Well, Mufasa sat and told Simba everywhere that the light touches, right? And if you remember, Scar had a different land. So you can look at this as Abram, and Lot, right? So
Mhm.
Abram said, God told Abraham, everything that you can see, as far as you can see, is going to be belong to you and your descendants. And it's a permanent possession. This ain't something that's going to be here today and gone tomorrow. He said a permanent possession. And I'm going to make you so many descendants.
Mhm.
that they can't even be counted.
That's
Hmm.
deep.
And let me tell you something about people. And in a minute, I'm explaining. Abraham, when he was thinking about descendants, he was thinking about physical children. He was
Mhm.
thinking about he was going to have children with Sarai, and they was going to have so many descendants. But God was talking about not only physically, but spiritually, you're going to have so many descendants because Father Abraham, right?
Mhm.
We ain't got to
That's
that
funny.
point.
I was just thinking, and I was just gonna say the very same thing that we as humans, so we're just thinking the now. We're not looking at that big, big picture because I don't think he realized how big and how huge that promise was. You see what I'm saying?
It was a huge
So
promise.
that's huge. Like I would be like flattered. I'd be like, oh, I read that in the Bible, and that's a man. I will do whatever you ask me to do, and I will not act like I'm anybody's sister. And I didn't really be my husband. I'll do everything you ask me to do, my dear father.
Yeah. And so next week, we're going to get into so much more. We're going to start with chapter 14. Chapter 14 talks about how Abram rescues Lot. And we're going to talk about a lot more stuff. Y'all, it's finna get deep. Like I tell you, Young and the Restless has nothing on the Bible. Can you imagine walking into a land? That's like me going to a different town with my husband and he tell the mayor, oh, well, this just my sister. And he's like, well, can I marry her? Yeah, go ahead and marry her. And I'm already married to you, and you make it okay for the mayor to sleep with me just so we can make it through that town. Y'all, it's awesome. And Abram regrets that, and he builds an altar and asks God to forgive him. Y'all, the descendants, the Canaanites, the Amorites. You're gonna hear all these wars when they saying they having a war with the Amorites. These are all these descendants, and all these people are getting. We're gonna see a war in chapter 14. So it's gonna be wars. It's gonna be killings. It's gonna be all the stuff that we like in a movie. But this is real life, and this is real things that happen. And we're just on chapter 14. Like it gets deep off up in these Old Testaments, y'all. And I know a lot of us be talking. Sometimes people say, well, we need to live like the Old Testament. Do you understand that when he did that, they said horrible, terrible plagues upon Pharaoh and his household because he slept with this woman and she was already married? God didn't care that he
And
didn't
it
know.
wasn't even Pharaoh's fault.
That's what I say.
He
He
was
didn't
an
even,
innocent
he didn't even
bystander.
God didn't even, that's what I'm saying. He didn't even care that he didn't even know.
No mercy.
He didn't know that Pharaoh didn't even know she was married. All he knew was this man said his sister. I paid the endowment. I married her. I'm sleeping with my wife that I done married. Now I got all these plagues on me and my household.
Mm-mm-mm.
And so that's saying grace and mercy is a lot because at least in grace and mercy be like, well, you know what? She didn't know for real. She for real didn't know. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm saying. Grace and mercy is awesome. I thank God that we have it. But that goes
And
to show you that God don't play either. Saying you
mm-mm,
don't know or saying that you wasn't told is not going to hold up
mm-mm,
when you go to heaven, when you go to judgment. You can't say, well, Lord, I didn't know and didn't nobody tell me. It's not gonna work, y'all. It's not. And I hate that it don't work because I want it to work for me.
and
I'll
no,
say that
and,
in a
and
minute.
and that's just the thing. Like it's not even it, especially I think, and this is where I this is why Christy and I do this, right? So I had to think of the right wording that I wanted to use for that. You got to think, if you know, you are held accountable. There's no buts whatsoever to that. No, well, I misunderstood. No, you knew. So there's accountability for your actions. whatever those actions may be. And man, I don't want to be held accountable. Like I just want to hear, my dear daughter, job well done. And I want to be like, woohoo! And I'm going to the other side and hanging out with my father and looking at like awesome things there. Just I could just see how beautiful it is. Just picture it. You know what I'm saying? So there is, like, Christy's not lying. There is that accountability, man. And sometimes I think it's somewhere in the Bible. You might know where, Christy, because you know I'm real bad with memorizing things, but where it does say it's better not to know than to know, because you will be held accountable. The more you
But you know,
know,
it says that if you be whipped with many stripes,
yes.
if you know, but if you don't know, you're gonna be whooped with few. But at the end of the day, you getting whooped both times. Either if you
Hmm.
know or you don't know, you're gonna get whooped.
Hmm. So you just want to do the right thing and live right. I think that's the most important thing. Anyway, Christy, go ahead. I wanted to add that because
Oh no,
I
you fine.
that's the main reason why I do this, because you don't want to know something but then not know things like that, like not, know it and still do it and think that you're not going to be held accountable. Well, yes, you are. I'm letting you know, and the Bible clearly states you are held accountable.
You
Oh.
are. And that's one thing I really want us to understand, that it doesn't matter what I see, what Anna sees, your pastor, your co-pastor, whatever. It doesn't matter. You are held to accountability to Christ. And he
Hmm.
sees, and he doesn't sleep. So you can't hide something for something that nobody sleep. Like, I can sneak around all day long, but
Hmm.
my God sees everything. He sees the inside of me. He knows me better than I know myself. So who are you actually hiding from? Because you can't hide from God, and he's the one that has the final say. He's the one that matters. Like, I don't really matter. I don't have a heaven or a hell to put you in. And I can't destroy your body or your soul. So I don't really matter. You can hide, or you can cheat, lie, whatever. I'm just,
You cheating me?
it ain't gonna hurt me. That's your body. That's your salvation. That's your soul. I'm just here to be a messenger, to bring forth
Hmm.
the word, to make about a change in your life, to let you know that God loves you and He's there for you. That's it. I'm
Hmm.
not here to pass judgment on no one. Even if you are in a then I know I talk about homosexuality. Even if that's your state, if you in homosexuality and that's your state of mind, I don't have a heaven and hell to put you through. I can't, I'm not judging you and saying that just because you're going to hell. But what I am going to say is that God can't go against his word. And it's going to talk about that in here. I'm gonna have to hit some strong stuff when we talk about it. But does that mean I don't love you? No, I love you as a person. I love you, and it means if you want to go and kiss a rock on the street, that ain't got nothing to do with me. But I can tell you, hey, I wouldn't kiss that rock. It may got some COVID on it, and you're gonna come up sick. But I wouldn't do it. But if you do it, that's on you. I'm just gonna keep on walking. After I
Yes.
tell you what I say, I'm gonna keep walking. And you have free will to do as you want. And just as hard as I preach about homosexuality, I preach about heterosexuality. Because if you're heterosexual and you're not married and you're having sex, it's fornication.
Hmm.
If you're married, having sex outside your marriage, it's adultery. It's just those
Hmm.
are just some straight line rules. Or things that God speaks on. And it's not about hating the person. It's about hating the sin and making that person see the detriment, because God said that the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life. I don't
Wow.
care if I get off this radio or this show right now, if I get off of here and I decide to sin, God is going to deal with me about my sin. So he gonna deal with
Hmm.
you about yours. That's why we say, God, search my heart and search my
Hmm.
mind, so I may not sin against thee. Let me read this word and let me put it in my heart, because it's gonna become
Hmm.
a time when this Bible is not gonna be no more. It's going to come a time when all these books are going to be burned. It's going to come a time when you're not going to be able to see us on video. It's going to come a time where you're going to want to hear the word of God and can't. It's going to come a time when people are going to be speaking against the word of God, the Antichrist. It's going to come to pass. And when it does, and you don't have this word already hidden in your heart to where you know it beyond a shadow of a doubt, then you will sin against God and you will be in a position to have to not know whether or not you're going to heaven or hell.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's why I teach hard. That's why I read this because I
Mhm.
want to hide it in my heart. So when that time comes and there's no more books, all the words are changed in the Bible to meet some government goal or whatever. I know the word because it's hidden in my heart, and I know what God has said. I know the truth.
And see, I just want to make this quick comment. I used to think to myself, how can a Bible just be depleted? And I started thinking this was very recent, like within the last, like around COVID time, that we all had time to like sit down and really think. And it came to me, I said, man, oh my God, everything's on the internet. People don't use books anymore. I mean, I still like having my books. There's something about the book that just for me. I said, if people aren't really learning the Bible just like that, it can be wiped from the internet.
Do you know they changing
That's it.
scriptures
Huh?
already? They changing scriptures already.
Mm,
It's like it's really like on the online. It's like if you look in the Bible and you look, it's like scriptures are being taken out of the Bible right now as we speak.
mm,
It's not gonna be something that happens right away. It's gonna be
right
so
away.
subtle to where you don't even realize that it's gonna happen. Just think
Mm-hmm.
about things that are not preached about. You have
Mm-hmm.
preachers now in mega ministries. They're not
Mm,
really preaching God. They're preaching how to be prosperous, how to
mm-hmm.
gain money, how to be,
Mm-hmm.
they're not teaching, oh, well, if you do this, they're not teaching the
You're going
unadulterated
to
word of
hell.
God.
Let's say
Hell
it
is
how it is.
very
If
not
you do
mentioned.
this, you're going to
So
hell.
once you
We
start
don't do
getting
that.
into that realm, in that flow of not teaching about sin or hell, or you got the LBGTQ community that want to come up against Christian because they feel like we preach against homosexuality. You got those who want to add that into the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to come a point in time where it's going to be considered hate to preach God's word because you
Mm-hmm.
are you are speaking against so many things that about. And y'all don't have to believe me, but it's coming. And just like the woman who went to jail because she wouldn't marry a homosexual couple or give them a marriage license because it goes against her religion, she was arrested. It's gonna come a time where you're gonna have to either stand up for God or you gotta be a part of the world. Are you ready for that? It's coming where you have to take the mark of the beast. It is already
Hi,
happening.
Christine.
Hey, Christine, where I know it's companies now to where you have to have the chip inside you to be able to get on a computer, to be able to get paid, to go to the bank, to check in and out. It's one company where you have to have it to get into the building. And if you don't have it, you can't work there. So it's coming, y'all. We just have to be prepared because we are in the last days
Yeah.
and we have to be prepared because the word it says it's going to be a full, and the way you know because the Bible says it's going to be an outpouring of the Spirit. When the outpouring of the Spirit ends, that's when the Antichrist is going to come. That's when you're going to have the mark of the beast. That's when you're going to have this and you're going to have that. And like you already seeing how there's a shortage in food. You're seeing all this money be pouring out. Nobody knows where this money is coming from, but it's being poured out. So you're gonna is if you look at the Bible, everything that happens, and for you history buffs, go read the fall of Roman. What
Mm-hmm.
happened to Roman? The
Mm-hmm.
Romans, the fall of their whole entire nation. If
Mm-hmm.
you read it and you understand it, you will know a lot that's going on with the United States of America.
Hmm. And see, this is just it. It's almost like, and that's why Christy and I actually sit here and we take our time on Thursday nights to do this for you guys, right? Because we don't want you to hear, oh, this is a sin, but this is not a sin, because you have to prosper, because yeah, you have to don't, you do this or tithe. You do have to tithe, but there's many different ways of tithing. I always do give in more ways than one, but the truth is, you have all this different stuff that people just tend to sugarcoat, especially these mega churches, and it drives me up a wall. Or how they're looking just to get numbers filled up. It's not about the numbers. I don't care if I got nobody watching me and Christine, but guess what? Somebody will get it. At one point, someone will get it. And because he doesn't lie. Our Father wouldn't have it put this in my heart if I didn't have to get through to people. He wouldn't have it told Christy so quick. She was so quick to say, I'll do it. You know, she could have turned around and been like, nah, I'm not. And I don't know. That's kind of, you're talking about the Bible? You know how long the Bible is? She could have had that attitude, you know, but she was like, no, let's do this. And see, remember that our Father is also jealous. Our Father is also correct. He corrects us. And so think of every way that you are with your child. And that's how our Father is with us. Everything can't glitter and shine. Everything's not love. You have to be corrected, because then he's not loving you. It's just like our kids. We have to correct them or they're not being loved, because we're just letting them do whatever they want to do. And you can't spare your child the rod. The Bible says it. You see what I'm saying, Christy? So it's that type of thing that we need to very much think about what steps we're making, what church we're even walking into, and that we're getting exactly what it is that we need from our Father. Because if you're not getting it, or you feel that conviction of something here is just not right, leave. That's my advice to you as your sister in Christ.
Right. So with all of that, y'all, we've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes. I don't think we could ever get off in an hour. We try.
We really do.
We
And
really
we
do,
really love you guys. We
but
do.
God's word has to go forth.
Yes.
And a lot of times we like to stop and tell you guys what's on our heart, because we appreciate y'all listening, and we really want to get it out there to you guys. Because hey, it won't be said that y'all blood won't be on my hands. And you're right, Christina. Discernment is very, very important.
Yes.
So make sure you come back on, Christina, on Tuesdays, where we're reading the book,
No, we'll
Spiritual
be back
Warfare.
tomorrow.
We'll, we'll be back tomorrow to finish chapter 3, because
Four.
it's 4.
Mhm.
No, it's 3.
I'm almost positive it was four. Yeah,
Okay,
don't quote me on
Anna
this.
know she read it 5 times. Chapter 4, but we're talking about the world,
Chapter
and it's
four.
going to go into each other 3 parts that causes that the devil uses. It's the world, the flesh, and the devil. All 3 work what we have to fight against and be prepared for. So the first one we're talking about the world. And it's really, really, I'm telling you, I'm learning so much. I promise I am, and I enjoy it. So we'll
Mhm.
start that tomorrow,
And it's
same
really good
time.
because it's breaking it down.
It does.
So even if you guys missed a part of it, just go back and look at the videos, because it's really, I mean, I know we cut up a little bit, but it's, you got to
Well,
have fun in
we
life.
answered. We didn't cut up.
um, but I'll tell you, there is no feeling like being able to understand things broken down. I tried finding this book earlier. I was with my stylist, and I was trying to find it in Spanish so that she's able, because she doesn't speak English, so that she's able to read it, but they don't have this version in Spanish. And I said, it breaks my heart that they don't, because this is such a good book.
Maybe
She
you can
said,
translate it in Spanish and type it up.
the book,
Yeah.
me for
Overachiever.
her?
Overachiever.
I probably could. I still need to finish typing up my book that I wrote, my suspense book.
Right. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah.
But guys, we love you. Me and Anna
Yes.
be on here forever because we talk all the time.
Yeah.
But I also want y'all to know that we are, like I say, outreach and prayer. I know we on Bibles and Girl Talk as well. They start playing our videos. I don't know if you know Anna. The Middle Ground and Lunchtime with Anna. Our personal Facebook pages have the video as well. So y'all, it's out
Sure.
there. Share, 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 share. I can't say share enough because you giving somebody the gift of God. And the way
And the
we
gift of
do, if you want
life.
any prayer,
Yeah.
give us a call at 321-252-8084 because we don't mind praying. That's one thing my grandmother and my co-pastor have instilled in me. Yesterday was my co-pastor's birthday, so happy birthday, co-pastor.
Happy
Just know
birthday.
I
I
love
love
you with
all
every
these
beat.
October and November babies, man. Y'all are just woo, the bomb, the bomb. So, and my December babies too, because that's my son. Christine is born in December. It's just October, November, and December. We're just awesome souls. So
Yes, October. Also, it's my cousin.
Octobers are legends. What are you talking about?
Right. I love you guys. Also today was my cousin's wife, which I like I tell her she's my sister. It's her birthday too today. Happy birthday, Janaris. I always love
Happy
you.
birthday. Hugs.
Happy birthday. We're so glad you came.
Oh, there
so
goes Nathaniel.
and Red.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Come
big
here, come here.
space.
Oh,
Happy
sing
birthday,
it,
Wait,
Miss.
sing
wait,
it.
wait, so you can show Christine and everybody that's looking at you your new haircut. Say, I got a haircut.
Oh, beautiful. She is so awesome. Red, I didn't hear you answer the question. Did you say you was gonna let your wife be your sister so she can get married to somebody else?
He said, I don't think so. He said, I don't think so. And Millie, you were asking about the Bible. I did not miss it. If you go under Amazon or christianstore.com, I think it is, or christian.com,
You can
you're able
actually
to get
download
them.
that on. She can also download that in Kindle. That version is in Kindle too, and it's a Bible app with that woman's devotional Bible. It's an app
I
on
think she
there.
was just asking any Bible, I think.
Oh,
And then the last thing is, Millie, did you receive the spiritual warfare book? Y'all ain't gonna have us here all night. If you receive the spiritual warfare book,
might change your situation.
okay, so yeah, she started reading it. So if you want to, you can go back. Look at it, Christine's laughing. You can go back. Oh, it's
Oh, it's
okay.
okay.
um, if you want to, you can go back. How many weeks have we been doing this new chapter? Like 3 weeks, right? Four weeks now, a month.
The new book
Yeah.
4.
So it's okay. So Millie, what you can do is you can also read or watch the videos, because I know sometimes it's easier to just put on your headset because it's the same thing that's in the book. So this fool done said maybe laugh out loud. Abram, Abram Coleman. Now you gonna get yourself in trouble with Jesus. What are you
I
doing?
knew it.
What
I
are
knew
you
it.
doing?
I knew it.
Y'all ain't gonna keep us on here. Because I really am
Where
not
Ephraim at?
sure.
Where
Huh?
Ephraim at? Where Ephraim?
He's at work. He's at work. He's
So
at
he
work.
was out here.
Yeah. I think it was on a break. Oh, they're on the Bible study.
On
What's
outreach
the
prayer,
outreach and prayer? They're on there, or if you want to, I can forward them to
or
you.
she can go, or you can go on her Anna's lunchtime, and she posts them all the time, and it has
Mhm.
like chapter 1, 2, and 3. I post them on
I
mine
actually
too,
put the chapter that's
or
on
you
the.
can go on you can go on outreach and prayer. It's on there. Just like the page. Anyone, please go to Facebook, look up outreach/prayer. Like the page for us, please,
And share it.
and share it because
Invite
we
people
do.
to like it.
Yes, because we're gonna be doing a lot of stuff. We're not stopping no time soon. So, even if my voice stop, we still gonna go forth because I'm gonna tell the devil he a lie, and I'm gonna be like
Amen to that.
raspy and talking.
Amen to that. Look at
Oh,
me.
and I wanted to let you know I got my booster today, my Moderna booster.
Oh, you got it?
Yes, my sister.
I
Yes, my
thought you were
sister.
gonna do like me and hold off on it. What happened?
I was, but my sister. Well, we just got it in, and my sister, who's a ER doctor, she was telling me how that the booster is really supposed, because you know how you have to get the boosters for one of those shots every uh so often, like the booster and something. So it's just kind of like that. Some of your vaccinations you do have to get boosters on, but that's
Hmm.
just to make sure you stay protected. And after all, I am diabetic. I'm diabetic, and I'm overweight by those standards. And the most people that were getting it and dying were obese African American who had diabetes and hypertension. So I had three of the four. So I went ahead and got my boosters so I can continue to protect my body. That was just a choice, and I wanted to share that with everyone because
So,
I
quick
want you.
question. Do you think that in my situation, like, are you feeling the same side effects that you did?
No, actually, the shot was the stick
So,
didn't
Chrissy
hurt.
and I had the same vaccine. We both had Moderna.
Yeah,
Um,
and you know they said you can get Pfizer booster even if you have Moderna,
oh, I'm
and
not. I'm
vice
not
versa.
doing the
But
mix and match.
I said
I'm not
I
doing that.
began with Moderna, I'm gonna end with Moderna,
And
but it
thank
didn't
you.
really. You been out there? Oh, the Moderna, it didn't really hurt the second shot, and like my arm is just a little sore, not as sore as it was when I first got it. I just did it today, so I don't feel sick, like or tired or drained like I did in the first one. So I would tell people like I'm for it. I'm for the
Hmm.
shot too because it protects. Just like my kids have, like my daughter got to go get her meningococcal shot before she can go continue school, and if she don't, she can't go to school. So it's just one of those things that I feel like it protects us. Now I did not get my children vaccinated, my younger children. I feel like it's a reason why we don't get vaccinated between certain ages. So that's just my personal opinion.
Oh, I vaccinated mine. Mine took Pfizer, and they weren't
Right, but
even sick.
my children are under 11.
Oh, no, yeah. Um,
But
yeah,
my
I
older
didn't realize
kids, my
they were. I keep
19-year-old is
thinking of the
vaccinated.
girls. Yeah, I keep thinking about the girls.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm asking, so Christina, briefly, I'll tell you, they just found out that all these crazy symptoms that I was going through was thyroid. I'm having my thyroid is. I have a nodule right here, and they're going to further check it or whatever. But that's what it is. So, in your opinion, Christy, with thyroid issues because it's caused all kinds of whack. So you think it's probably in my best interest to take the booster, huh?
Well, I don't know dealing with your thyroid though, because your thyroid plays a good part
And
in
everything.
in um in what I want to say in immunization. Your thyroid plays a good part of that.
Ah,
So I would ask my doctor because if it's not controlled, which I think you'll be okay getting a shot, getting a booster since you already had it, because the
mhm.
booster, I think I would if I were you, but I would definitely check with my doctor first.
Absolutely, yeah.
because
Because well, certain
that
conditions, yeah.
yeah.
Well, see, and then the fact that it's a nodule, but like I said, nobody please feel like, oh my gosh, something. No, even if it was something that is cancerous here, it's okay because it's like chances are next to none I'll die from that. So
Right.
I'm okay with that. I'm at
Yes.
peace. Like whatever
It's
goes
just
on,
you
I'm
probably
good.
just have to go through some things. But
Mhm.
like you say,
Radiation and everything, but it's just because it's a small area, they just deal with it there. So I think it makes it easier. So, anyways, if anybody knows anybody with thyroid, I have hypothyroid. That's why I get fat and I can't lose weight and I get embarrassed and I don't like being on camera. Um, thank you, Christine. Um, but if you know anybody knows any information, please let me know because I will take the booster if it
yeah,
is
I just say
beneficial.
ask your doctor. I think that, your doc. I think it'll be okay because I don't think it'll affect anything. But I don't want to say that because I don't know what medications you're taking right now. So I would definitely say if you're a person that's taking a lot of medicine, check with your doctor before you take the shot because you want to make sure it doesn't have any effects with those medications.
Okay. All right. Well, we love you guys very much. You guys, I'm really exhausted. I would stay with you guys an hour more if I could, but
Me
I'm
too.
drained. I
Me
need to
too.
get some rest. I'm already in pain sitting here. So, love you guys. We will see you guys tomorrow. What time did we say tomorrow at 7?
That's fine. 7 tomorrow.
7 o'clock
Your time.
Eastern
6 o'clock my
time,
time.
6 o'clock Central time. We'll see you guys for the second part of chapter 4, and it's
And I'm
very
excited
important.
because
Yes,
it gets
'cause this
good.
is
It gets
good.
good.
This is
Y'all,
good.
please, please, please tune in. We love you guys.
Yes.
Quick prayers. We're saying prayers. I say prayers off the air for you guys. Just know we love you. Christine, Red, Millie, we thank you for joining in. We thank you for commenting. And Red, we thank you for promoting us because I know that's a lot for you. And I really, really thank you so much for your time, for your energy. And I love your posts. I would want to tell you that you be having me cracking up.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I hope everybody saw the post that I sent them earlier that I made people cry with my post. The little boy singing. You
Oh
haven't
yes,
seen it.
I
Wait till
haven't
you
seen
look at it.
it.
Wait
I'm
till
gonna
you
look
look at
at it
it.
now.
Check your inbox. Y'all check
I
y'all's
know I
inbox.
got it. I just couldn't watch it.
All right. Love you guys very much. If you guys need prayer, please call us. And I'm sorry if I'm rushing off of here, but I'm just really not feeling well. Love you guys.
It's okay. We love you. We praying. Love y'all. Bye.
All right. Bye bye.